Yes, he is here. He's all over.
And now I'm Bill McGraw.
Well, still to come on Extra, the house that comes complete with bedrooms, bathrooms, and the ghost with the blue suede shoes.
You're in Elvis world.
That story next. 16th marked the 16th anniversary of Elvis Presley's death. But as you'll see in the story we're about to tell you, there's one woman who says the king is alive and well. Sort of. Phyllis Presley Collis has been trying to sell her house for quite some time now. It's a prime location for any Elvis fan because A, it's right next door to Graceland, and B, it comes equipped with the king. George Chiccarone explains this one for you.
Looking for a simple home in the South? Well, how about one right near Graceland? Matter of fact, right next door. One with 2 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, hardwood floors, stone fireplace.
And did I forget to mention...
The ghost of Elvis Presley.
Phyllis Presley Collis, she had her middle name changed, claims that ghostly images of Elvis have been haunting her Memphis home since she bought it in 1985. That ghostly apparitions of Presley have been seen all over her house.
Elvis's ghost is really around here walking around?
You could experience it. You never know when he's least likely to pop up.
Well, what did pop up is some for sale signs. You see, the way Phyllis figures it, she can cash in not only by selling her home, but the ghost of Elvis along with it. And she says that makes the house worth more, a lot more.
Most of the houses down here are worth about 70 grand. This close to 100. Is that extra worth to Elvis's ghost?
To an Elvis fan, yes. You're in Elvis world, the spiritual essence of Elvis.
The house once belonged to Gary Pepper, who started the first Elvis Presley fan club. Gary, who suffered from multiple sclerosis up until his recent death, was said to always have been a special friend to Elvis.
Gary seemed to be more alive when Elvis was around.
Phyllis says Elvis, well, make that his ghost, has been spotted in the bedroom hallway, as well as, well, let someone else tell you.
I'd come home from work and the toilet seat would be raised, and I knew that there wasn't any males in my house at that time, and in the middle of the night, the toilet seat would fall.
Oh, yeah, up and down. Up, no, down, that's down, yeah.
Well, Elvis died, supposedly, in the
I never thought of that. I've never thought of that, but yes.
Yes, he is here. He's all over.
Natalie is a Memphis medium, and at our request went into a trance to find out if indeed this house is all spooked up.
I can feel him around here.
Elvis?
Yes.
So her claim that Elvis's ghost is here in this house, and that's the extra, that's worth $20,000 on the real estate market. What do you say? It's true?
Yes, I could feel it. I feel the vibes. I feel it.
This house's most unusual selling point has not yet hit the right note with Tennessee buyers, as it's been on the market since last summer. A house with Elvis's ghost? Phyllis thinks some people might not believe that.
I didn't believe it. I laughed at people myself. I was very skeptical until I became part of it.
Now, if I had a house with a genuine friendly ghost inside, let alone the ghost of the king, now wouldn't it be an insult to try to unload them? Hey, it's worth asking.
I think he wants to sell the house.
Yes, I can feel that. Yes.
Well, now that that's out of the way, Phyllis says she will only sell to a true Elvis fan, and that a large portion of her selling price will go to an Elvis charity. But until then, she'll just have to continue to coexist with the king and keep on singing the For Sale House Rock.
Boo, baby.
I knew the housing market was soft, but
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Elvis, yeah, sure.
He's there.
When we come back...
It is difficult to imagine a more enduring and ridiculed rumor than the one that says Elvis Presley is still alive. Tabloids have feasted on this story for years, and the rumors show no signs of stopping.
Recently, an even more far-fetched story has begun to surface. Claims that the ghost of Elvis Presley still walks beyond the grounds of his beloved Graceland.
We recently went to Memphis and found that, amazingly, there may be something to these ghostly rumors. Here's reporter Mark Thompson with our story.
There is life after death, commercial life. Elvis Presley has become even more popular after his death than before, with thousands of tourists visiting Graceland every year.
Graceland may well be the place where the king spent the last years of his life, but his ghost could be residing somewhere else in the neighborhood.
Just behind the back fence of the sprawling Graceland estate, directly adjoining the property, is an unassuming house which Elvis once gave to an old friend, cerebral palsy victim Gary Pepper. In the years before his death, Elvis allegedly used the modest dwelling as a secret sanctuary.
At Graceland, Elvis was surrounded by a lot of friends and employees, and he liked to have a lot of people around him. But I think that at times he didn't always have the privacy that he wanted there. And I think he would come over to see Gary and have some quiet time with an old friend.
Recently, a series of bizarre occurrences at the house suggest that Elvis's spirit has not left the building.
When I moved in the house, we have a patio door, and it was clear. And throughout the years, it started to get cloudy. We didn't know what it was. It was just forming, and then as we'd look at it, many nights we'd just sit there and look at the door and try to figure out what it was, and all of a sudden it started to take image, and it became an image of Elvis.
I was reading a newspaper, and all of a sudden, the house got very cold. My hands got cold, my feet got cold, and all of a sudden I heard music in the house, like Love Me Tender. There was no radio on, there was no cassette, there was nothing. It was coming from the walls, it was coming from, I don't know where it was coming from, but I heard it. And as I'm reading the newspaper, the sliding door started to open. And I said, something is not right somewhere. I got up and I shut the door.
That by all accounts defies rational explanation.
In the middle of the night, the television came on. It just popped on. For no reason at all, it popped on, and I immediately looked around to see if there was a remote control anywhere. Well, the girl didn't own a remote control, and if you saw that television, you know that it wasn't a remote control television. Kind of older model. You know, it wasn't even cable. You know?
Even more disturbing than the television turning on is what was playing on the screen.
You're going to freak out. I believe it was an Elvis movie.
Things started happening that I've never seen before, technically, you know, with the broadcast equipment. All of a sudden we started popping off the air. We'd be trying to talk to the spirit, and we would go off the air and come right back on a few minutes later, but then go right back off again 10, 11, 12 times. I've been in radio almost 20 years. That has never happened.
I have absolutely no desire to revisit that house if I don't have to. Not that I'm afraid to go back in there, it's just not a place I want to hang.
The events that transpired in this house raise questions that could not be addressed by conventional means. For the answers, we turn to Patricia Hayes, a renowned paranormal investigator who runs the Delphi Psychic Training Center in McKaysville, Georgia.
Are you getting anything in this area?
No, I don't feel any activity in here whatsoever.
Should we look at the rest of the house?
As we continued our tour, however, she picked up a presence.
You know, right in this area, there's been some sort of what I would call physical phenomena, whether it's the water turning on and off or something with the toilet, with the commode. There's something, there's energy right over here in this particular area.
Why would any entity from the spirit world occupy this bathroom?
To come in to go to the bathroom.
Spirits actually need to go to the bathroom?
Yes, and they eat too. And many times when they occupy a home, it brings them into contact with the physical world so that they can re-experience.
The last room we investigated was the den Elvis had enlarged to accommodate Gary Pepper's wheelchair.
As you come in here, there's a lot of energy. You can feel it already. Tremendous amount right here. In fact, this whole room is charged. The energy is...
As we surveyed the rest of the den, Patricia began to feel that the room is being used as a gathering place for a number of spiritual entities.
It's a feeling of friendship here. It's a feeling of love. These energies are familiar with each other. They're not just crossing paths. They've come in to have a good time. There's a rapport, a very strong rapport between them.
Patricia was able to sense a path the spirits travel when entering the house, a path leading directly through the patio door. Outside, the supernatural trail continued, apparently cutting a path diagonally across the backyard.
There's a current of energy that goes from that door in a direct path that comes right this way. It's going back and forth from this door, and it's moving this way. So come, let's see where it's going. And it's going to go right across this fence, and I don't know whether you want us to cross this fence or not, but it's going that way.
Well, that would lead up into the Graceland compound in there. Across that fence?
Across that fence. It goes right up.
As the aerial view confirms, Patricia had pointed out the most direct route to Graceland, one that might be traveled by supernatural entities, not hampered by fences or other physical obstacles. What conclusions can you draw, Patricia, based on all of the things that you've sensed here today?
Well, we definitely have spirit activity in this home, and it is highly charged. And it's very interesting because what I'm about to tell you may surprise you. The entities here are not what most people would look at as ghosts. They are not trapped. They are here through free will. They are here because this is a wonderful memory for them. They love it. And what's also very fascinating about this is this house, this window, is actually a psychic window to the astral plane, or what you would call to the other world. And
could the unexplained markings on the glass door be physical evidence of the energy that so frequently passes between this house and Graceland? Patricia drew the obvious conclusion.
My sense is definitely Elvis. Elvis is definitely here, but there's a number of others too. It is not just Elvis. Also one of his dear friends.
So possibly Gary Pepper, who lived here?
Exactly, exactly. And I cannot identify the other ones, but those two very strongly I can identify. So there is no doubt that Elvis is on the other side.
A rock critic once wrote that we'll never agree on anything like we agreed on Elvis. Well, we may agree that Elvis was larger than life, but bigger than death?
No matter what your opinion, there's no doubt that this story is propelled by the very real legend of Elvis Presley. 18 years after his death, people still refuse to accept the fact that Elvis Presley has left the building.
But Encounters will be right back.
Welcome back to the other side. Now, Memphis, Tennessee is a long way from Honolulu, but we need to go there right now because allegedly Memphis is still the place that the restless spirit of Elvis calls home. Let's go to Memphis now.
Just adjacent to Graceland sits the house of Phyllis Presley Collis, a house she says Elvis used to visit when he was alive. Apparently, he may still drop by from time to time.
Right behind me, that's Graceland. Graceland, Tennessee, where Elvis lived. Many, many times Elvis would come down this hill and walk into his friend Gary Pepper's house. Gary was also the president of Elvis's first fan club, the Tankers. Gary and Elvis had a very special bond. They really liked each other. This also is the glass door that has the image of Elvis on it. I see the face, the cape, the head, and some people even see a microphone in the hand of Elvis. About a year and a half ago, the local radio show, Rock 103, decided to do a remote from the house. Before they came, we were cleaning up the house and hanging out here, and we noticed an ashtray slid across the table, stopped. My friend Shauna went to grab it, and it shot out of her hand. Everybody just stood there open-mouthed.
Let's go to Memphis now.
Hey, Will, how you doing? How's everything in Hawaii?
It's really rough down here. Weather's bad, freezing rain. It's really awful.
The weather's beautiful here. It's about 85 degrees, sunshine all day, and we're sipping our pina coladas and pineapple.
Let me ask you something. What's it like to live in a house where you feel that spirits are alive in the house?
Well, it's wonderful. Absolutely marvelous.
Not frightening at all?
Not at all. It's a wonderful feeling. There are between 12 and 14 spiritual guides and guardian angels here. They're protecting us. How could it be wrong?
And obviously the king, if you will, the spirit of Elvis is one of these spirits. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Why are you so sure it's Elvis?
Well, one of the psychics, Natalie Davis, claimed that When we're born, we're put on this earth for a specific amount of time. Elvis was born to be living in his 80s. Since he died before that time, his spirit is here. And the reason he's at this house is because there's a lot of love that's here. He spent a lot of peaceful times here. He didn't have the confusion he had up at Graceland. And he bought this house for his good friend Gary Pepper and loved Gary, and that's why they're here.
Now, most people we've talked to who have an experience where they feel like a spirit is in the house are very eager for the spirit to leave, and that's not true in your case.
Absolutely not. I love it here. It's wonderful. The more, the merrier.
What is it? What's it like? How does he manifest himself to you?
Well, different things happen here. Television sets go on and off. The channels will change, especially football season. We'll be watching one station, and all of a sudden the channels will switch, and it's usually to a football game. Could it be that Elvis's favorite sport was football? It's good. It's a wonderful feeling. The candles get higher and lower, the flames on the candles.
Now, Lucille, you believe that Elvis is critiquing your music. Tell us about this.
Well, he's doing a darn good job, Will.
Now, you are a musician yourself, playing, and you've had experiences where you have been playing, and you have felt that Elvis has not liked what you're playing. Is that true?
Well, I think that Elvis likes everything I play, frankly.
Now, what do you say to people who would say, well, this really just is in your imagination, and you know you love this this man as a performer, and you're just keeping him alive, but it's in your own imagination, that it's not real?
I don't listen to anybody else but myself and what's inside of me. And if I can draw on some kind of inspiration within myself, and that's where it comes from, then so be it.
Okay. Well, the other side, we'll be right back. Stay with us.
When we come back.
Being dead and being left alone, hopefully.
Happened this evening, and who's to blame? Is to investigate a home behind Graceland.
I'm Patty Souza here in Weather Center 13. More severe weather rolling across northern. Take the necessary precautions. That means conditions are occurring right now. And then as we head into Tuesday, cooler weather, 67, but we're going to start to see Mr. Sunshine.
Activity going on near Graceland, and some psychics believe Elvis may be closer to Memphis than we think. Last night, a group of psychics from all over the country were in town to investigate a home located within blocks of Graceland. These psychics are from Delphi University, a school which studies metaphysical activity. They were invited to Memphis by the owner of this home, Phyllis Presley Corliss, who claims there's been some unusual activity going on inside her home.
We are here to investigate to see if there really is phenomena or if it is active imagination.
After these psychics spent the day investigating the house, they held a seance. Our Audrey Garrett was invited to attend the seance, and she'll have a full report, and she'll tell us if there were any Elvis sightings tomorrow night, live at 10. Coming up next in sport.
Live from WHPQ-TV Channel 13, this is 13 Eyewitness News, live at 10.
A Memphis woman is convinced her home is haunted by Elvis.
12 prices are climbing.
There are several reasons for the increase, and it's being...
Looking at it from this vantage point.
From this vantage point, looks like it's going to be all right.
All right, Jim, thanks very much.
Well, coming up, it's been over. Still sends chills through a lot of Memphians.
And a lot of cops. All you have to say.
Check out the weather with Jim.
Well, we're expecting some cloudiness tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, temperature 53 degrees.
Thanks,
Jim. Almost psychic, isn't it? Is the spirit of Elvis Presley living in a Whitehaven home?
Many psychics from across the country were in Memphis this weekend on a research mission. Now, they were here to investigate a home near Graceland, a home some psychics believe Elvis visits regularly. Here's Audrey Garrett.
With gusty winds and thunder and lightning as a backdrop, a group of psychics from all over the country gathered in Memphis this past weekend. The reason for the visit? To investigate reports of unexplained occurrences inside this home located on a street behind Graceland.
But that's where it is. The rain coming in the pond. Wow.
This home used to belong to a man named Gary Pepper, a former president of an Elvis Presley fan club who had cerebral palsy. Elvis befriended and financially supported Pepper after learning of his illness. Pepper died in 1980. Phyllis Presley Collis bought the house in 1986, and since that time, she says, unusual events occur frequently, like TVs and radios going on and off, and kitchen cabinets opening for no apparent reason. Not to mention the image formed on this door. That's why she invited psychics from Delphi University, a Georgia school devoted to the study of metaphysical activity, to investigate these occurrences.
We are here to investigate to see if there really is phenomena or if it is active imagination. How we work is the team goes in and works individually and silently so that nobody knows what the other one is doing, and basically look for what we call pockets of energy. Energy is information, metaphysically.
Right here, it's like a column. It's like a vortex. Yeah, right, like a huge vortex coming in. Big. Oh, wow. It's getting stronger. Big chills. Yeah.
After spending all day Saturday looking for what psychics call windows or portals of energy, they held a seance.
Let's just fill this room full of energy, full of love, warmth.
During the seance, this team of 14 psychics claimed they felt the presence of a number of spirits coming in and out of the house, including Elvis Presley. These psychics told us the king feels comfortable in this home. They also said Elvis told them in the next few years a young musician will tour Graceland with the right energy.
And that young man will become very well known, and he will be 19 years old when he comes through.
I have to say that the association between the entities that are here has to do with the emotions of how they felt when they were here in this property. And they've come back to it because it is a safe, warm, loving environment where they were very comfortable.
These psychics also say there's an explanation for those people believing the king is still alive.
As to the question many people ask, is Elvis alive or is Elvis dead? We feel that he's very much alive, alive on the other side.
Audrey Garrett, 13 Eyewitness News, live at 10.
We asked the psychics to rate the house on a 1 to 10 basis, 1 being the least amount of metaphysical activity they've ever seen, 10 being the most. They gave this home a 9, so knows. Elvis may be closer than we think.
Looked like a mime convention in there, didn't it?
I'm feeling it's time for us to go. We're live at 10. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, we're all back tomorrow, live at 6, everybody. Take care. We'll see you then. He's right here. He says he's a pharaoh's face.
Look up when you look into the window of this Whitehaven house. Could these famous folks, including Elvis, be looking back at you? Nah, they're just cardboard cutouts. But the real action does happen inside.
Well, the bathroom is is that where the strongest?
The bathroom, the front room, and then...
Phyllis Presley Collis, she had her middle name changed years ago, bought the house about 10 years ago. She claims all kinds of strange things happen.
Now you see that light, I keep leaving it on and it keeps turning off.
The toilet seat does strange things too.
You'll hear sometimes this.
Things happen to Phyllis's friends.
I went to reach for the cigarette, and when I did, it just started moving. And figuring it was a glass table, I thought, well, maybe there was water underneath or ice. So I got down like this, and I looked underneath, and I said, oh, no. And I had goosebumps. Every hair on my arm stood up. It really freaked me out.
Psychic Natalie Davis told us Elvis comes and goes from the house.
And he's going more back this way now.
He's going back here?
He's going back there. This is where I pick him mostly. Here.
Why this house? Elvis bought it for a man who had cerebral palsy. Elvis used to visit Gary Pepper when he was alive.
Now, several psychics have said that Elvis takes a path going in this way, walking all the way back here, and there's a reason for that.
The backyard of this house backs up to the backyard of the Graceland compound.
There's a path, actually, that they claim.
That they travel from that, I guess that area is over here?
Yeah.
You may have noticed the door leading outside is filmy. Phyllis says that appeared not long after she moved in. She and Elvis fans believe it shows the king's image.
Okay, this is the side view of his face,
all right.
Okay? Here's his hair. Comes around like this. See, he's got long hair. His eyes over here. This is the top of his cape.
But I guess that area is over here.
Oh, sex stimulator.
Meanwhile, back in Memphis, literally in Elvis's own backyard, this woman claims to have witnessed other kinds of Elvis sightings.
It's spiritual. It's got to be.
Things have been going on for years, but now there's a new Elvis twist. Some of his fans actually think Elvis is divine. A current affair found some serious scholars who believe these disciples of Elvis could be the foundation of a bizarre new religion. Here's Bill McGowan.
Many people find Elvis more relevant as a contemporary or other Jesus than the historical one.
I'm sure other people have the same feelings that I have of Elvis being a spiritual guide or an angel of the Lord's.
Elvis is more alive now than he's ever been. His spirit is still here.
In life, he was hailed as the king. But in death, Elvis Presley is becoming more like a god to a growing army of passionate devotees. Some look and sound more like disciples than fans. They don't just adore him, they worship him. We found Elvis devotees from all walks of life from all over America. They make ritual pilgrimages to his tomb. They build monuments and shrines to his name and image. They tell of heavenly visions and ghostly apparitions. Why, some even enter into holy matrimony in his name.
In the name of the Father Vernon, the Mother Gladys, and the Son, I pronounce you husband and wife.
It could easily be condemned as blasphemy or dismissed as simply ridiculous. But like it or not, the deifying of Elvis has become a very real phenomenon. It has been documented in books, investigated by prestigious newspapers like the New York Times, and even studied at major universities.
There's a vast number of people who are pursuing Elvis spirituality throughout the United States and as we're finding out, around the world.
Vernon Chadwick is a professor of English literature at the University of Mississippi. He actually teaches a course on Elvis and recently convened an international conference on the Elvis religion.
The whole material culture of Elvis, that is not just kitsch and it's not just mass manufacture, it is the dispersion of the body of this Lord, of this king, of this Elvis.
He was the world's sex stimulator.
Meanwhile, back in Memphis, literally in Elvis's own backyard, this woman claims to have witnessed other kinds of Elvis sightings.
It's spiritual. It's got to be spiritual.
She is a lifelong Elvis fan who changed her name to Phyllis Presley and bought a house that adjoins Graceland. It used to be the home of Presley's fan club president, Gary Pepper, and Elvis reportedly spent some of his favorite moments here. According to Phyllis, he still does. Toilet seats that go bump in the night. Darts that mysteriously throw themselves. And most intriguing of all, a modern version of the legendary Shroud of Turin. A special guest appearance by Elvis on the kitchen door.
Here I see the image of Elvis this way, with his eyes looking this way at times.
Not surprisingly, Phyllis Presley believes strongly in a divine Elvis after death.
I'm not saying that Elvis just is exclusively here. Elvis's spirit is all over.
Pretty neat.
People still seeing this ghost around here?
Yeah, they are. I talked to a lady who actually is over there opening the doors right now, unlocking things. And we also talked to a lady who lives right across the street who thinks Elvis is showing up every day.
Every day?
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Welcome to Graceland, everybody. So we can go ahead and step this way.
No.
I think with any house you're going to hear you'll hear some noises. Elvis purchased this house for his friend Gary Pepper, who was the president of Elvis's first fan club, the Tankers. Elvis is definitely here as a presence. You pretty much can feel a presence, not of just Elvis, but of different people who lived in the house at one time or another. This is where his heart is. This is where his home is. I definitely believe that Elvis does, you know, make his appearances at Graceland. And all the tree lights are on, the problem so far anyway. In the middle of the night, the TV will go on, but I don't feel bad when I come and open this house because I know that he would welcome me to do so. If you don't love Elvis, you don't love yourself.
I don't want to be a tiger. No, if you don't love Elvis, you don't love yourself.
That's words to live by, man.
Hey, let's go a little bit farther down here, get a better look at what's going on across the street at the mansion. There's the nativity scene, which in the 60s, Elvis actually, John, placed that up there. Very, very special. You know what?
Let's just jump the wall.
Yes, let's jump the wall. And you know, they told you before about security guards. No security guards.
Cool.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
All
right.
Live here.
I wanted to be part of Elvis world, so here I am.
And we'll update you on this and unexplained news and events from around the world and beyond. This is Strange Universe, the phenomenal daily news magazine. Hello, I'm Emmett Miller.
And I'm Dana Adams. Welcome to Strange Universe.
Die-hard Elvis fans have been reporting sightings of the king ever since he died. Now meet a Memphis woman who lives next door to Graceland and says the ghost of Elvis is a regular guest in her house. The house is a shrine to the man millions call the king. Photographs, marriage licenses, memorabilia in every crack and crevice. Some of it owned by the singer himself. Yes, if Elvis lives, then he must live here. Just ask Phyllis Presley Collis.
The spirit of Elvis Presley is definitely here.
Phyllis bought this house 10 years ago from the estate of Elvis's lifelong friend, Gary Pepper.
I wanted to be part of Elvis world, so here I am.
She wanted it so bad, she even changed her middle name to Presley. As for the house, it's so close to Graceland, all Elvis has to do is hop the fence.
Elvis liked to come here and spend some real good, peaceful times here.
And peace is what Phyllis found, too, at least for a while.
Little things would happen that you really wouldn't think about.
Phyllis soon noticed bizarre phenomena. The TV would mysteriously switch on and off, as if Elvis were using the remote control.
In the middle of the night, they'll turn the TV on and wake me up.
And there was more. Candles would suddenly ignite, and the toilet seat would bang up and down, a spooky reminder that Elvis was found dead on the bathroom floor.
I'll go to bed at night, and in the morning, the toilet seat will be raised.
Then, Phyllis says, the proof became apparent in this sliding glass door, which faces the backyard of Graceland, where Elvis is buried.
This is a corridor or a portal to the spiritual side, and the spirits go back and forth freely.
Phyllis claims the permanent smudge on the door is actually the image of Elvis. To get a better idea of what was happening at the Collis house, we invited local paranormal investigator Elijah Nicholas.
This house has got a lot of spirits in it. Elvis never liked to be alone. That's why all these group of people are around him. They're like his entourage. They follow him everywhere.
Elijah says the house is bursting with spiritual energy, and other psychics have agreed. But Strange Universe wanted a second opinion. We consulted Patricia Hayes, a professor of parapsychology at Georgia's Delphi University, and one of the nation's foremost specialists in psychic phenomena.
Definitely, we felt that Elvis was there. It was extremely strong.
When Patricia visited Phyllis's house, she performed what she calls a psychic energy scan.
I looked over at the fireplace and I could sense Elvis. He looked probably in his 40s, but he didn't have that swollen, paunchy look. He looked very good.
Some psychics believe Elvis's spirit is in turmoil.
He's not at peace. That's why he comes to this house.
But Patricia says Elvis is perfectly happy to come and go as he pleases.
He is not a ghost that is caught there. He has freedom to move back and forth.
Phyllis agrees. She says Elvis and the other spirits simply like it here, and that's just fine with her.
My spirits love me, I believe, totally.
they're communicating with me in their own way that I understand.
Phyllis opens her home free of charge to hundreds of Elvis fans every year. On tomorrow's cover story, she was near death.
To adoration, to untimely demise.
If you got a problem, I don't care what it is.
There are two beings that were on this earth that are recognized. Now, this is a very interesting plate.
Phyllis Presley Collis has devoted her life to Elvis. She legally took his name, moved from Jersey to Memphis, and bought the home that housed the King's very first fan club.
And they'll feel some sort of a spiritual energy and tingling.
She's convinced he still visits through a sliding glass door, offering comfort, guidance, and more.
Just leave it to me.
I know it's going to sound silly, as problems happened in my life, and I needed a best friend. And I would listen to Elvis music and look at pictures of Elvis, and I felt at peace because I'd listen to his music, and that would soothe me.
So this is a popular religion in the making.
The foremost Elvis scholar in America is an English professor who coincidentally shares a Presley family name, Dr. Vernon Chadwick.
So most Elvis fans who do have a religious relationship to Elvis deny that it's religious.
But not every follower is reluctant. Chadwick says there are some who admit they actually pray to the Lord and the King of Rock and Roll.
No human being had ever risen as quickly as Elvis Presley, and the only explanation for many people, especially in the South, was a religious explanation. This man was favored by God. This was superhuman, even divine power that was showing through Elvis.
I don't know, man. It's under somewhere.
Consider the pilgrims, whose religious passion is played out at the gates of Graceland.
We see here, as we speak, followers of Elvis leaving devotionals and votive offerings to Elvis, best wishes to Elvis, a form of graffiti prayer. Everything that was once secular is now sacred in the Elvis world.
Here's the E, the L.
The latest revelation at Phyllis's house is a message that materializes on a steamy bathroom mirror. Supernatural or sacred?
So don't forget me, baby.
But I believe Elvis would be upset if anybody said, well, you're the new Jesus Christ. No, that's not what I believe at all. But he's something to believe in. Interview wasn't on there. It was like, well, I can't say it's strange because nothing's strange in this house. Things happen all the time. And I mean, the television might go on.
Be something other in New York.
Seite des Zauns liegt Graceland, erklärt die Besitzerin stolz. Nur wenige 100 Meter entfernt steht dieses runtergekommene Haus. Angeblich kommt Elvis regelmäßig zu Besuch. Auf der anderen Seite des Zauns liegt Graceland, erklärt die Besitzerin stolz. Mary Hines musste einfach mitkommen zu diesem neuesten Schrein der Elvis-Seher. Viele erkennen Elvis in meiner Verandatür. Hier ist der Kopf, die Nase und das Mikrofon.
This house is highly charged with psychic energy.
Mein Haus vibriert vor lauter übersinnlicher Energie. Das haben auch mehrere Parapsychologen festgestellt. Die Glastür war nur der Anfang. Ich lebe allein in diesem Haus. Aber wenn ich den Toilettendeckel abends runterklappe, ist er morgens wieder hochgeklappt. Als gäbe es hier einen männlichen Geist. Kurz vor 8. Die ersten Fans treffen sich vor Graceland zur Totenwache. Elvis ist überall.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Happy birthday, Elvis. Home of Elvis A. Presley. Lisa Marie. January 6, 1997. And there it is. Happy birthday, Elvis. Killer, piano and harp and guitar, across from Graceland. Here we are going up the driveway. Fabulous Graceland. Merry Christmas sign. It's bitter cold out today. It's January 6, 1997. Beautiful Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. Probably in the teens tonight. And tomorrow and Wednesday we expect dead ice storm. Here's Elisa Marie. The driveway. Fabulous Graceland, in Memphis, Tennessee. January 6, 1997. Hey, Elvis. January 6, 1997. Freezing temperature. The magic of Graceland. The magic of Elvis land. The magic of Elvis world. December 6, 1997. The manger. Graceland. Hey, Elvis. Happy birthday. January 6, 1997.